Can you still see it like this? Wrong way. Okay. So we're going to be learning how to read P&IDs this section. I go ahead and cover instrumentation as well, so that way when you're looking at a P&ID, you are not overwhelmed, okay? We're going to go ahead and start with instrumentation. Okay, so, you're good? All right, so there are 5 process variables, okay, that you're going to be controlling in the industry. All right, so what is it called with how full your tub is? That is the what of the liquid?
Level.
So when we control level, all right. How much of something is going through the pipe? Flow. How hot something is?
Temperature.
Temperature. How, I don't know how to say pressure without saying pressure. And then pressure. How much pressure is exerted in something. Okay, and then we also have analytical. So instrumentation is going to be connected to electric and pneumatic lines. Y'all should know y'all symbols for that, right? There's also some different types of instrumentation lines, but not a big deal for y'all to learn. You'll learn it more when you get to the industry. Anytime you see some acronyms with a circle or a square around it, and it has dashed or pneumatic or etc. lines going to it, that is your instrumentation. That's not your actual process fluid that is in your piping. Okay? Good on that? Okay. So this chart is pretty much going through what the acronyms represent. So your first letter is always going to represent one of your 5 process variables. So if the first letter is F, what do y'all think it represents?
Flow.
Second letter is L. Third letter, or next letter, what if it starts with a P?
Pressure.
What about a T?
Temperature.
And A is analytical. So your analytical, what that's measuring, I gotta take mine. It's a water system. It could be measuring pH. Anyone heard? You've heard of acidic or basic, right? Okay, so if it's acidic, it'd be below 7. 7 would be neutral, and then basic would be above that, or alkaline for basic. So analytical, if it's on a water system, it could be measuring pH. It could be measuring conductivity on a water system too. So the more minerals you have in water, the cloudier it is. When it's talking about conductivity in this scenario, think electricity. It's how much electricity can flow through the water. Good on that? Okay. No, so, yes, I'm glad you said that because I would have completely forgot. If it's on a water system, that's what it's commonly measuring. If not, so composition is the makeup of something. That is commonly what it's measuring when you're not dealing with water systems. Composition, when I say composition, the makeup of something, this is 50% sugar, 10% caffeine, and then the rest probably more sugar. But it's the makeup of something. So you may be measuring the amount of moisture in your process, or this hydrocarbon, how much methane is in it, or how much decane is in it. And we're going to go over hydrocarbons next class, so don't fret on that, okay? Okay, so this does not cover every single instrumentation letter there is. This is like the basics, okay? To where at least when you look at the height, you won't be super lost. So a middle letter, if there's more than 2 letters, is the only way you're gonna have a middle letter, right? So this is not, you just X this out if there's only 2 letters, okay? So the middle letter, if it's an S, what type of valve we talk about that's a P? Safety, okay. Okay, and then I would be indicating. Okay. Now the last letter, these are some examples. So we got V, which stands for valve. You remember learning this in intro? Controller. Temperature, I'm sorry, not temperature. Transmitter. And I'm going to teach you what some of these do and their purpose as well. Element. Indicator. Y'all, okay, Y is transducer. I don't know why they chose Y for that, but I guess because T is already taken. So, transducer. And then G is gauge. Is it G-U-A? Yeah. It's a weird one. Okay. Everybody good? So mainly what I'm wanting to show y'all is the difference between a transmitter and a gauge, okay? So think of like an older car versus a newer car, okay? Or a fancier car versus a basic vehicle. So the basic is gonna have like your speedometer. It's gonna have, you know, that little half circle with all the speeds on it, 0 to whatever, and then it's gonna have that little dial, right, on it. Y'all can picture that. A transmitter, on the other hand, so that would be an example of a gauge. And y'all, I'm not saying it is actually a transmitter on the car. I'm just trying to give y'all a comparison mentally. A transmitter is a digital reading. So the newer cars or the higher end cars, they actually have 53 written on it if you're going 53 miles an hour, digitally, right? It's not on a gauge. So a transmitter is usually going to have an actual measurement on it versus a gauge is going to have a needle on it, okay? So, gauge, transmitter. So what's this one measuring? And how can you tell? Because it says PSI, pounds per square inch, okay? PSI. Right, so that's a measurement of pressure, okay? Most common measurement of pressure. This one, what is it measuring?
Temperature.
Yeah, degrees F, right? What's this one measuring? It says GPM, which is gallons per minute, which is flow. This many gallons are flowing per minute, right? Good on that? Temperature gauge, PSIG. So they're written digitally. So your G's are going to be 9s and so forth, you know. But you can tell that's gallons per minute, right? See it? Liquid inches, percent liquid in inches. Percent level in inches. I'm sorry, brain fart. Okay. A basic control loop. So remember, based on what we learned about our acronyms, this is how I'm just going to show y'all how you'll actually see your instrumentation on your P&IDs. Okay, so y'all see T101, it's in the top left-hand corner of your P&ID.
Yeah.
All right. LG, based on your little chart, what does LG stand for?
Level gauge.
Level gauge. So you'll actually have a local sight glass out there. I'll show it to y'all when we get to the hot unit. Okay, let me clear that. Scroll down. Okay, so HS, that's not on y'all's chart, but it's a hand switch. You'll have it for your pumps and things that you can turn off and on out in the field, okay? Not a biggie on that though. Alright, what does PG stand for? What do y'all think?
Pressure gauge.
Alright, PI.
Pressure indicator.
Pressure indicator. So you'll see that on the transmitter. You'll see that on a, no, that one's for the review game. There's a different one, it has red pins and. So you see how it just goes to a transmitter and an indicator, and it doesn't go to a whole control loop? The transmitter's translating the pressure, indicator is the local transmitter that you actually see. Okay? Okay, so technically it could just say PIT on it, and know that, yeah. Okay, so, FT, FIC, FY, right? TT, FE, PT, y'all get that?
What's
And
TW?
you notice it's all in circles? That's your instrumentation.
What's TW?
Thermowell. So the thermowell is the type of temperature element. Well, a thermocouple is the type of temperature element. A thermowell is the jacket that like encases it. It's not called a jacket, but.
So what was the difference between the circle and the square whenever it comes to like?
So that's a little more advanced than what I was wanting to teach in here, but circle is going to represent local, square is going to represent, they see it on the board, circle and square, both. Or, don't quote me on that. Because your controller isn't necessarily shown on, it's on the board if there's a square over it. Let's just do that, quote me on that. Okay, so y'all understand kind of what y'all are seeing? Basic controllers right here. TE, type of temperature element or a thermowell going over it. TT, transmitter. TIC, temperature indicating controller. TY, transducer. TV, it calls it a TV instead of TCV, but same concept.
Temperature map.
Yeah, yeah, same concept. So you see how it's not even on the same line?